Hey guys, Moonlit Dreamer here. So it's now almost day 3 since we had to admit my mom into the facility. And in truth, I I don't entirely know how I feel today. It just it's one of those things that all I really want is my mom back. I really want things to move smoothly and I want I want life back. But I know that I'm doing the right thing. Getting it to go from here to here is a whole other story. My emotions are conflicted. I know that she needs help. I know that she doesn't want it. She doesn't feel like anything is wrong. And that's hard because she's not seeing it from anybody's perspective but hers. And it's difficult to, I guess it's difficult to wrap your head around it because I've tried looking at the things she's telling me and just none of it adds up. But to get to the point of being so paranoid that you think people are following you who aren't, you're thinking your husband is doing bad things and he isn't, and then basically giving up on the people you love just because they're trying to help you. And it's difficult today because she ended up in the emergency room complaining of chest pains. It turns out it's basic anxiety, and I know about anxiety because I live with it. I have since I was about 6 or 7 years old, and I was old enough to understand what death was, and that caused me to be anxious. It caused me to be afraid. And I know that it's not fun. I know that she feels betrayed. We're still waiting on a doctor to talk to her, and that's difficult. I know that if they do, they're gonna try to put a plan in place where she's gonna get the help that she needs, and I know that she's gonna refuse, which is gonna have to go back to the court, which is gonna have to go through a judge, which is going to just cause a whole mess. And I know that when she gets out, she's not gonna stick to it. The hardest part for me has been to know that I have lost my mom. Basically, after this, she wants nothing to do with me. She doesn't want to talk to me. She doesn't want to see me because she feels like I am under my father's thumb. And that's just not true. The thing is she's been pushing me away little by little by little for a very long time now. And the things that she tells me and in the things that she says, my self love and self confidence has just gone so far down that I haven't been able to find that way back. And it's not that I'm not working on it, I am very much trying to. I'm trying to be the person that I know I can be. It just hurts to know that because I tried to do the right thing and I'm trying to do the right thing and I'm trying to get her help before she gets hurt or before she hurts someone, that I have become a bad person. I have become hated. I have become somebody that she just doesn't like. And that's difficult because that's my mom. I have half brothers and sisters. I have a half brother who's from her, and he can't see it the way I see it because he hasn't lived with what I have. And I have to give him a little bit of not pity, but I have to give him a little pat on the head because he's listening to her and he's not trying to get in contact with me or listen to what I have to say. All he sees is that I locked up our mom and he thinks I'm doing it to be evil. I wish he would talk to me. I could set him straight, I could tell him everything, but he and I have never been close. And it's also conflicting for me because all my life I was pitted against my father. I was raised to believe that he was throwing us out when really he wasn't, that he didn't want to talk to me, he made fun of me, he ridiculed me. And I mean, granted, we got into a lot of arguments. A lot of it because I had voices in my head, a lot of it because I was young and immature. I'm not going to sit here and make excuses for that. It's been over the years when I've opened up and I've listened to the things that he's had to say that I have come to realize he's always had my best interest at heart. And even though a lot of the things that I do he doesn't support, I mean, that's any parent. It doesn't mean he loves me any less. It's just that now I have my father and my sister. I have another brother, but he doesn't really talk to me either. But I have my father and my sister behind me. The two people I always thought hated me and never wanted anything to do with me, who are here. And I have the brother and the mother turning against me. And it's such a parallel for me. It's such a parallel for my life. Something I never thought was going to happen. And I don't entirely know how to take it. I don't entirely know how I'm supposed to feel. It feels wrong, and I'm anxious. I'm trying not to be. I'm trying to just understand that this is a good thing. The guilt comes in that I've done this to my mom, even though I know that she's needed it. She's needed it for a while. She's needed to even see a doctor. And I begged her and I pleaded just to go in on her own, to do it on her own, and she wouldn't do it. So, unfortunately, I feel like I was backed into a corner. What was I gonna do? Just let her keep possibly hurting other people and hurt herself? No. It's just from here, I don't know where I go. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I don't know what the right course of action is. Tomorrow, the the judge sits, and hopefully they'll have talked to her by then, they'll have assessed her, and they figure out what's going on. I think that's the scary part for me, is that they're gonna send her home without trying. And the other scary part is if they don't find anything wrong with her, then I committed my mother for no reason. But at the same time, I look at the things she's done and it's just not normal. It's not normal to spy on your neighbors with a telescope. It's not normal to go out the back door and start screaming at them. It's not normal to brake check cars and to point finger guns at people you don't know and tell them you're going to shoot them. It's not normal to stay up all night, sleep for 2 hours, go all day, not shower for days on end, not try to do things. It's not normal. So, I know that I'm justified in trying to get her at least any kind of help that I can. My biggest fear has always been losing my mom, and now that I have, I'm conflicted because it feels like a weight has been lifted, but it doesn't mean I don't love her. It's just that I don't know how we go forward from that if we ever do. Many people are telling me she'll forgive you once she realizes, and I don't think that. She's always been one to hold a grudge, and I think that this is going to be one that she doesn't let go of. And I have people telling me my feelings are valid, that I'm okay to feel scared. It's okay to feel the way that I do. I just wish that doing the right thing hadn't been this difficult to bear. Tomorrow is the day where we find everything out and we figure out how we go from here. And I know that I'm not going to be alone. But it's losing the one person who did understand me and who did try. That's the hardest thing. And I think I have to start finding ways to forgive myself. I know that I'll need help going forward, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. I just wish this unsettled feeling would go away. And maybe one day it will. Maybe one day I'll look back on all this and I'll be able to see. I'll be able to be okay. But if not, I mean, I did everything I could to save someone that I cared about. But now I have to figure out ways to save myself. And I think now, more than ever, that's what I'm gonna work on. I'm gonna work on being okay again. Because now is the time that I can start living my life for me and not walk on eggshells or worry that I'm gonna come home to Mr. Hyde instead of Dr. Jekyll. That I don't have, that my self-worth and my self-love is not measured by what I can do for someone or what I can give to somebody, but for being me. And I want that so much. So that's where we go from here. We pick up the pieces and we try to slowly put them back together. So, everybody in the comments, let's do this together.